Hello everybody. In this video we'll be taking a look at the 2025 through 2026 gubernatorial elections. To start off this video we'll be looking at 2025 gubernatorial elections, which takes place in Virginia and New Jersey. We'll look at Virginia first. Right now we have Winsome Earl Sears versus Abigail Spanberger. And it's looking like Sears is not running much of a campaign at all right this moment. And Republicans have just kind of given up on this race, while Spanberger is running a stronger campaign and it's looking like she's going to cruise her way to a safe blue margin in this state. And looking at the polling, that's what it's starting to show here. Winning by 10 to 12 points here. So that's probably what's going to happen, just because Republicans are not running much of a campaign for Earl Sears. So Spanberger wins by about 10 to 12 points as of now. In the state of New Jersey, this one will be much closer than Virginia. We actually have good Republican here and a decent Democrat. And right now, Jack Ciattarelli, he's the Republican nominee, while Mickey Sherrill is the Democrat nominee. And the race got much closer for Republicans here in 2022, only Phil Murphy winning by 3.22 percentage points. And looking at the polls, they had it either safe blue or likely blue there, and then that's what the polls showed as well. But actually what happened was the race was this close. So if polls keep on looking like how they are now, it could even go red in 2025, because Ciattarelli is a good candidate and the state is shifting right. Republicans are putting so much time and energy there, but the Democrats are also putting a lot of time and energy trying to defend that seat. So probably for now I'm going to have it as tilt blue, just because overall the state is still blue leaning. But it just depends how much the state shifts from 2024 to 2025. And if Republican putting so much time and energy here actually pays off or not. And now we'll go to the 2026 elections here. We'll start off with the safe red states. That'll be Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Alaska, as long as Mary Patola doesn't run, because it's looking like she's probably going to run for the House again, but we don't know. It might be the governor's, because she hasn't lost that one yet, but no one knows what office she's going to run for yet, so for now I'll put it safe red. We have Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, Texas as well goes safe because Greg Abbott is popular here. And that'll do it. As well as Vermont, because Phil Scott, he's a popular liberal Republican there, so if he runs again it'll easily be safe red. And Kelly Ayotte, I think, will increase her margin in 2026, because in 2024 people were thinking the race would be either tilt red or lean red. The polls indicated it would be close, but she won by 8.5 points. So this race is probably going to go slightly redder in 2026. Now we'll do the safe blue states here. Start off with, we have Colorado, we have Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, California, Hawaii, and Illinois is probably going to be over 10 points as well. That'll do it for the safe blue states. Get to the likely red states. We'll start off with Kansas. This one's going to be likely red. It'll be a flip for the Republicans. In 2022, this race was blue. Laura Kelly, she's very popular in this state. She won by a little bit over 2 points here, but then 2026 she's not eligible for another term. So it just depends. These Democrats here, they're just state senators for now, while the Republicans have these candidates. It's just big primary contests on both sides, so it just really depends what quality candidates each side gets. If Republicans nominate a strong one, Democrats get a weak one. It's safe red. Vice versa, if Democrats a strong one, Republicans a weak one. The race will probably be closer, but the lieutenant governor was probably the Democrats' strongest candidate, but he declined to run. So probably the lowest this will go is lean red, but for now I have about 7 to 8 points as of now. In the state of Ohio, I'm putting this as likely red as well. Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be the Republican nominee, while it's probably going to be Tim Ryan for the Democrats. It's looking like that. And then Sherrod Brown, he might run for Senate because he's had a talk with Chuck Schumer, and Chuck Schumer's trying to encourage him to run for the Senate instead of the governor. So if he runs for the governor, it'll probably be a low likely to high lean, but Tim Ryan is probably about 5 to 6 points red. Part of it is Ramaswamy is not the strongest candidate because he has some controversies, but he's also really good at campaigning. So we have positives and negatives for him, but he's definitely leading the polls by a lot for the primary. But this poll right here has Amy Action higher by 4 points. That's also a blue leaning poll there, and so is that one. This one has it by about 5 points for Ramaswamy. And we saw in 2022 and 2024, polls overestimate Democrats for the start of the election, but once it gets closer, then they're more accurate. So we'll just see what happens here. For now, I have it likely red. And then state of Nevada, I think this one also goes likely. Joe Lombardo was able to flip this in 2022 by about 1.5 points. And we've seen Joe Lombardo is actually a really popular candidate. His approvals are in the high 50s and sometimes the low 60s. Okay, so it's just Joe Lombardo. He's going to run again. Well, Aaron Ford, he's a good candidate for the Democrats. He's going to try to make this race closer. But because of how strong Joe Lombardo's approval ratings are, I think he's going to win this by about 5 points as of now. If he does really well, he could win all the counties in this state, but for now, it's just about 5 points. It all depends. Clark County might go red because Harris only won it by under 3 points slightly, so Lombardo actually has a shot at winning that. Now we'll go to the likely blue states. We'll start off with the state of Oregon. This one will be likely blue because this race was closer in 2022, partially because of a third-party candidate in Betsy Johnson. She took votes away from the Democrats, causing this race to be closer. Also, Tina Kotek is not the most popular governor either. And Republicans right now is not the strongest candidates either. So just because of the unpopularity of Tina Kotek, I'm gonna have this as likely blue by about 7 to 8 points as of now. And state of Maine is likely blue. It's gonna be an open race. We saw Janet Mills in 2022 won by over 13 points, which is an amazing win for her. Let's see, in 2018 it was closer, but that was because of an independent. In 2014 it was red. It's an open race. It's probably going to be high, likely probably about 9 points because Democrats have plenty of candidates on their side, and the Republicans, they have several candidates as well, but none of them are super strong from what it looks like. So likely blue for that. And New Mexico, that's likely blue as well. 2022 got closer, but Republicans nominated a stronger candidate there. So it could go safe blue. It just depends who the Republicans nominate here. And it's going to be an open race. So if Republicans nominate a good candidate, they have Greg Hull, which is the mayor of Rio Rancho. This is probably going to be likely blue for now because they're not nominating a terrible candidate. Minnesota is also likely blue. Tim Walz is thinking about running again. He's probably going to end up running again, from what I can tell. The Republicans, they have not the strongest candidates, and then Tim Walz, he's thinking about running. He probably will run again. So he probably decreases down to about 5 to 6 points instead of 8 points, what he won last time. Part of it, he lost a little bit of popularity running as the vice president with Kamala Harris, but that shouldn't impact too much on the state level. He should still be able to win by a likely blue. Now we'll go to lean states. Lean will be Iowa, lean red. Lots of this is because Rob Sand, he is the Democrat nominee here, is looking to win that primary too. He was the only candidate to win a statewide office in 2022, even though there's a red wave in Iowa. But then the Republicans have some other candidates as well. A few pretty strong candidates, so it's probably going to be lean R, about 4 points, mainly because Rob Sand is in the race. State of Georgia as well is lean red. Democrats don't have a strong bench in this state on the statewide level, and their candidate choices are not the best either. Republicans could either do Chris Carr or Burt Jones. They would be able to win by a lean red here. State of Arizona too, I believe, is going to be lean red as well. This one's very interesting. We have Katie Hobbs. She's very vulnerable in this state. A lot of it is because her approval ratings aren't as high as other states, and she barely won against a very unpopular Kari Lake in this state, 2022. She is up in the polls though right now against Andy Biggs, who is looking to be the Republican nominee here. Andy Biggs is definitely stronger than Kari Lake here. He outperformed Trump barely on the House level, which might not play a role on a statewide level, but we've seen the shifts in Arizona in 2024. Presidential level was 5.5 points red, while the Senate level it was still blue because Kari Lake was the Republican nominee. So for now, I have it about 2 to 3 points red, assuming Andy Biggs gets the nomination here. New York, this one's going to be lean blue. Kathy Hochul, she is very unpopular, even so unpopular that the lieutenant governor is trying to run a primary contest against her. That's how unpopular she is. On the Republican side, it's looking like it's going to be Elise Stefanik. She's going to be the Republican nominee most likely. Mike Lawler probably would have been the strongest candidate for statewide here, but he declined because he's going to run for the House election again. So it's probably going to be about 4 points blue, just because New York is a blue state overall. Even though it's had many rightward shifts, it's still too blue to overcome the unpopularity of Hochul. So she's probably still going to win here. Pennsylvania is also a lean blue state. Reason being is Josh Shapiro. He's typically an overperformer in the state by several points, but in 2022 he won by a safe blue margin, really safe. And lots of that is because Doug Mastriano is a very weak candidate. He is very controversial, and he dragged down the margin so much for Republicans here. But the state treasurer here, Stacey Garrity, is looking to be running here, most likely. She'll be much better candidate than Doug Mastriano, but all these other candidates here decline. Plenty of these would have been strong candidates too for the Republicans, but they declined. So Stacey Garrity will probably make it better than what it was with Mastriano, but just because Josh Shapiro's popular in the state is going to be about 4 points blue for now. But take a look, voter registration, it keeps on shifting right in this state, so that's helpful for Republicans. But if Republicans nominate a terrible candidate, it's to no benefit, and Shapiro will win by a safe blue margin if that happens. And now we'll go to the two most competitive states. Start off with Wisconsin. This is an open race because Tony Evers decided not to run in the state. And the lieutenant governor is most likely going to win that nomination from what I can tell. Well, there's plenty of candidate choices here, and there's no polling done for the Democrat primary, so pretty uncertain there. And these Republicans here are not very known candidates. This one, he'd probably be decent there. Eric Hove would probably be the strongest one out of these because he made the race really close on the Senate level in 2024. He still barely lost though, but on an open race he'd have a greater chance of winning than trying to knock off an incumbent. So it's looking like for now I'll have this as a tilt blue race, but it'll be pretty competitive in Wisconsin. Now we'll go to the most competitive race in Michigan, which could depend on several different things. Part of it depends on whether Mike Duggan stays in the race or drops out. If Mike Duggan decides to drop out of this race, then it could go lean blue, while if he stays in, it'll definitely pull some votes away from Democrats, which will help Republicans win this race. John James is looking to be the Republican nominee here. He's a pretty strong candidate compared to other candidates in Michigan. And then Jocelyn Benson is looking to be the Democrat nominee here. She's a pretty strong candidate too, which could help her out. But mainly comes down to whether Mike Duggan stays in the race or not. Since he's still in the race, I'm going to have it as tilt red. But if he drops out, then it could go tilt lean blue. So in this map, Democrats flip the state of Virginia and Republicans flip Arizona, Michigan, and Kansas. So thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know which one of these you agree or disagree on. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.